We are live on the MBL Network, a huge night here on the network, kicking off with Highly Debatable, episode number 16 here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Madden Bomber League. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, it's a big night on the network, but it's even bigger because it's Highly Debatable Sweet 16. Did you get HD a car?
I didn't. You know, honestly, I wasn't sure we were going to make it this far. They keep letting us get back on here, and I'm in shock every time they let us come back on.
It is a major lapse in judgment by whoever is the fool running the network over there. Continue to let this show go on. And
an isolate, right?
That's what I'll go with. That's the right answer. As always, folks, if it's your first time joining us, welcome. After round 3, be sure to post in the chat hashtag OSU wins or hashtag Sonny wins to determine who wins this episode. Speaking of scores, it's a tie ball game. Last episode, Sonny, the last couple of episodes, I think we found a nice little sweet spot. We're getting a good mix of votes coming in. Everyone the last couple of episodes has been neck and neck, pulling out on top. Last week was Sonny. We were to tie up the score at 3 apiece as we head into the last couple of episodes. Congrats on the win. I think it was by like 1 or 2 though.
Yeah, it was a close one, and I think it's going to continue to be close down the stretch. Now, here's the problem. I don't have the stock exchange show tonight to kind of boost me. Yeah. I think people have given me some sympathy for the fact my team's not very good. I don't think I'm going to get that tonight, so we'll see how this goes.
Let's throw that stock exchange graphic one more time, though, just to remind everybody, no trading of teams, no nothing. We talked about it on NBL Live on Thursday night, that these teams are set going into the playoffs. Sonny, I guess, inherently in the lead as we start, because I have one team who did not make the playoffs, the Chiefs, improbably losing that game on Thursday night. So they are eliminated, so no points for that one, but we head in with these 5 teams. Sonny, a lot of wheeling and dealing on
I'm missing one too. I'll throw that out there. I'm missing the Washington Redskins, who I sold for the New York Giants, who did pull it together. So, whoops.
Well, good for the Giants for getting. So we're going in 4-4. All right, we each got one team who didn't make the playoffs, but we're going in at 4-4. Sonny, confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, I know I'm going to win 1 point tonight, so that's pretty easy because Titans Jags are playing, so I know I'm at least advancing 1. Chargers are obviously into next week, and Falcons are into next week, so I'm carrying 3 teams the next week. I don't know about you.
A lot of my teams aren't even playing this week, so that's pretty cool. We got a huge show for you tonight here on Highly Debatable, followed up again tonight, hosted by the EA Madden NFL Twitch, NBL Live, episode number 200, the big 200, and we have a boatload of games coming up. We have every single wildcard game will be kicking off tonight. We'll be able to flip between all 4 games, so stay tuned for that one. But we got a little bit of a show to do here. Let's get underway and get to round number 1. I have no answers. I have no answers anymore. Literally, we will go. It is only on Highly Debatable this happens.
Only. It's because we're on here face cams. They get a little sick of our faces.
I think it is. It might be the Skype. I don't know.
It probably is that Skype. Skype's a heavy program to run.
Yeah, it's probably running Skype both. I don't know. Listen, guys, we're just gonna try to get through this. We're luckily there's no dual face cams tonight on the broadcast. Anywho.
They can't handle this.
They can't handle the... Well, I would love to watch a dual face cam where it's me commentating and you playing the game. If for no reason other than I would love to have seen your face during that Chargers game. Like, seeing things break. I'm just throwing it out there. Anywho, let's try this again, round 1. All right, we have quietly made it to the round 1 graphic. A team we have talked about a lot here on MBL Live and on Highly Debatable.
Face, we're making that right now.
That's the face I made the moment it went exploit. It stopped working. That's the face I made. That's the face San Francisco 49ers fans are making. Went from a playoff team to a top pick. We've talked about them a lot. The struggles of Arsenio Sapp. The struggle of this team to put together wins. Sonny, the question I have for you is, what if you had to take one thing that was the reason why San Francisco went from a playoff team to the number 1 overall pick? What is the reason for this? What do San Francisco fans have to look towards?
Look towards, I'm not sure. You know, once upon a time, they were the hot team. We were talking about it. They were a bottom dweller that slowly built their way up, and then it kind of just crescented at last season where they hit the playoffs, and then this year they're back to a 2-win team. They're at the bottom of their division, below the lonely or lowly. Cardinals.
They might be lonely.
You
I don't
got
know.
to start. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's just rough. That's just really rough. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what the answer is. Now, what I will say is that, winner's schedule may have something to do with it, right? So, they make that playoff, they get a tougher schedule, and they're seeing some better teams. You could say it was the conference they may have played this year. I think, honestly, it's the turnovers, right? If you look at their turnovers this year, they lead the league in fumbles. They can't hold on to the ball. No one on that team wants to hang on to the ball, and that's a problem. And I think if they can't figure out a way to correct that, if they can't figure out a way to keep the ball in Sapp's hand instead of fumbling it away, they're not going to win many games going forward. A lot of things broke their way last year for them to make the playoffs, and this year it seemed like nothing broke their way.
Yeah, I think you got two big problems here. Problem number one is the problem we've talked about over and over. It's Arsenio Sapp and the inability for this team to hold on to the ball. I mean, you're looking at a guy who only threw 3 touchdowns this year. I mean, that is both a unbelievably low number of touchdowns for a quarterback in the NBA to throw, and you add in the fact that the number of interceptions he threw, then you add in Ullman played the last couple of games, went 9 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I mean, it's too many turnovers plus fumbles. It's bad news bears. I think the biggest reason you saw the 49ers struggle this year is the schedule, because they did end up playing a lot of tough teams. But I think the biggest one is the improvement of the division. This was a division that for many seasons was, frankly, the joke of the NFC. I mean, we had, did we have an under 500 team make the playoffs out of this one? Or were the Seahawks at 8-8? I think they were 7-9 and made the playoffs.
9-6-1. They ended up kind of pulling it together.
Yeah, well,
I sold that team as well.
Not this season. I mean, like a couple seasons ago, the Seahawks made it at 7-9. You saw the resurgence of the LA Rams. First time we've seen the Rams this cycle have a nice season. They went 7-8-1 this year, and they may have found their quarterback of the future in AJ Baggs. We'll see how he does next season. I'm looking at their schedule. They lost a lot of games to teams that, I mean, again, they lost to the Cardinals by 2. They lost to, they then beat the Cardinals only by 3 the next time. They lost to the Rams by 1. But they lost a lot of games they shouldn't have. And good teams have to find a way to win those tough games. They matched up with the AFC South this year, ended up losing all of those games, I believe. Yes.
Shout out to the AFC South.
They did. They lost every single one of those games. So I think a lot of it is the schedule. But, Sonny, here's the thing. I don't think any team in the NBL can win with a quarterback that only throws 3 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, that's going to be a big issue. And then, the other thing that may have been the forgotten thing here is they have the worst rushing defense in NBL. They're giving up over 105 yards per game. They give up 28 points, good for 29th in NBL. So as much as we want to talk about the offense fumbling away, that defense has not been helping anybody out. They're not forcing turnovers. There's just a lot of dysfunction there, and you got to start questioning, was it just a mirage? Were the San Francisco 49ers just a one-year wonder, or can they get it back? I don't even know anymore.
I'm going to go out. I'm saying no. I like this Rams team with AJ Baggs. I like the Seahawks perpetually. I think the Seahawks team is sort of has separated themselves more so than before as the best team in that division. I just don't. I thought this team was a flash in the pan when it happened, and it was up to Arsenio Sapp to really prove himself, and he didn't do it this year. But let's move on from the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully they'll have much better luck next year. And let's go to round 2. Legacy talk. Gotta love talking about players and how they stack up against NBL history. And the player we're going to talk about is Takkarist McKinley out of the Atlanta Falcons. Again, the question is Takkarist McKinley the best sack artist ever? And I'm going to say yes. And here's why. I think the competition right now in the NBL is as good as it's been. I mean, since I've been here, we have the most number of teams competing for a playoff spot that I've ever seen this cycle. We've seen a lot of teams stay in the hunt for a playoff spot that teams wouldn't have done that maybe 6 seasons ago, 7 seasons ago in the past cycle. And Takkarist McKinley is facing some of the best offensive lines we've seen just because of how this game has developed. O-lines have been able to really power up. I mean, we've seen, you're looking at like the LA Chargers have an offensive line that is out of this world. The Pittsburgh Steelers have an offensive line that is out of this world. So many teams, offensive lines have been able to be developed because of what this game gives you. And because of that, I think Takkarist McKinley playing against some of the best tackles we have seen and putting up the numbers as consistently as he's been able to do, I mean, if you have another name, I'm not proclaiming myself a master of NBL history, but Sonny, if there's another name that is better than Tack McKinley, throw it out there, because McKinley is so impressive to me.
Yeah, I don't think you can go another route right now. When you look at his stats historically, he's had 5 seasons so far, and in those 5 seasons, he's gone over 20 sacks totals 3 times. The 2 times he didn't, 2018, 2019, those seasons, he was at 9 games played and 7 games played. He easily would have cleared 20 in both of those seasons. So you talk about a guy that literally averages 20 sacks a season. We talked about it earlier on. NBL Stats and Info had a stat that I think week 16, Tack McKinley by himself was the 29th highest sack total team in NBL. Team, meaning that he was better than 3 or 4 other teams. There were some ties in there, but he was better sacking the quarterback than 3 or 4 other teams total. The guy is an absolute beast. He can play on either side of the line. He gets at it. And so when you talk about this guy, the one thing that may go against him when you look at him in kind of the pantheon of great sackers is his durability. He does have issues. He doesn't stay on the field that often, goes down a lot, but when he is there, one of the best we've ever seen. And like you said, I'm not sure you can even debate that.
Yeah, I don't know who else would come up. I mean, you look at his ratings, 95 block shed, 89 power, 88 finesse. The ability to go both power move and finesse move is impressive. 95 pursuit, and that's where sort of the ability, once he gets past the line, to get to the quarterback. The thing that impressed me most, and the question is he the best sack artist of all time, is the percentage of his tackles that are sacks. 34 tackles this year, 27 of them were sacks. I mean, that's an unbelievable percentage. They pin this guy's ears back and send him after the quarterback, and he's playing in a division with some pass-heavy teams. The Carolina Panthers love to air it out. The New Orleans Saints love to air it out, so he gets a lot of opportunities. I mean, I think the knock against him is, he is a great pass rusher. He's a great sack artist. In the run game, he gets lost sometimes. They're able to get to the second level, and that's that 34 tackles to 27 sacks. He's not really affecting the run game as much, but so aren't a lot of tackles in this game. I think the biggest knock maybe is he does play in a division that has weak offensive lines. There's nobody in the NFC South I'm fearing that offensive line, but 3 seasons over 20 sacks. 2 of the seasons, in one of the seasons, 2019, he still had 10 sacks in an injury-shortened year. I mean, that's just absolutely impressive.
Yeah, and Kyle mentioned top 25. When you talk about this cycle and you talk about the best players from this cycle, I think you're going to go to Big Ben. You're going to go to Matthew Stafford. May even see Harvey Beckham thrown in there, but I think Tack's got to be right up there at the top. Yeah. I think top 5. He'll be the first defensive player, I think, in my mind, when we start looking at this cycle and reflection and say, who were the best players from this cycle? He will be the first defensive guy off the board, and he should be in the top 5, in my opinion. Yeah,
absolutely. And if there's a guy I want to build defense around, Tack McKinley may be that guy. Gotta love agreeing on stuff here on Highly Debatable. Let's go to round 3. And playoffs kicking off tonight. Episode number 200 of NBL Live. Still unbelievable to say that. The question, it's an easy question. We're looking at that playoff race. A very top-heavy year in the NBL. Sonny, the question I have for you is, are we just on a collision course? Look at this. See, I told you, it is 100% Skype. It is 100%. It is Stay Alive. It is 100% because we run Skype at the same time. 100%. We'll just load that back up. Let me do I'm not gonna do a Sonny impression. I won't. Hold on. Let's call him back up. Let's see what Tone's doing. You like that face, by the way? 10 out of 10 on the old OSU face there. Tony, pick up the phone. Well, again, episode number 200 will not have Skype running. Let's run there. I'm not. Sonny looks a lot better now. No, do a Sonny impression. I have hair. I can't do a Sonny impression. Where'd he go? Called it. 100%. It is absolutely Skype.
OSU, your computer just can't handle it. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to run a lot of programs at once, and it's no fun.
Oh no.
I wish I don't have a screen capture on this one. I had my whatever, the task manager pulled up to see it. Boy, Skype uses a lot of memory. Boy,
it does.
Skype uses a lot.
We gotta look at a different way of doing this. Maybe we'll do a Twitch face cam or something.
Man, we'll get there. We're gonna worry about this now. It's not Windows 97. I got nothing. Anywho,
so yeah, round 3.
So top heavy year in the NBL. Are the Chargers and Lions on a collision course in the NBL Super Bowl here for season number 30?
Yeah, it looks that way. I think the Lions right now, Matthew Stafford having a record-breaking year, 5,400 yards passing, very impressive. Harvey Beckham showing out. They found a running mate in Montgomery. That Lions team looks tough to stop. I'm not sure anybody in the NFC can do it. I got one maybe glimmer of hope. I think the Minnesota Vikings have had their number at times, but the Vikings have their own struggles in the NFC being able to actually win some of these playoff games. So not sure about that. But it looks like I'll take the Lions in that one. And then you go over to the AFC and the Chargers. What can you say? The defense, Melvin Gordon, they got it all clicking together. You look at their playoff road to kind of hoe. It's going to be either the Jets or the Browns, as long as my Tennessee Titans do work against the Jaguars. So you're looking at a team that the Chargers have dominated either way. I'm not too concerned about that. And then probably the Steelers in the AFC title game. That's an interesting matchup, but to me, this looks like a foregone conclusion. Get your tickets now. It's going to be Chargers, Lions, NBL Super Bowl 31.
I am not as sold as you are. Here's the thing about the Chargers. This is a team I play in the division of, so I know how good this team is. I'm just pulling up their stats. They're 14-2. Here's where I do think the Lions are the favorite to come out of the NFC. The Vikings, of course, always have a shot against the Lions. They see them twice a year. They've been that one team to have their number. Out of the AFC, I'm still going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and there's two big reasons why. First of all, the Chargers, if you look at the Chargers' stats as a team, the two stats that glare at me is they're the 22nd overall passing offense. Melvin Gordon is an unbelievable talent, but he is not having the year he had last year. 1,500 yards, 6.1 per carry. That is well down from the 8 yards per carry and 2,000 yards he had last year, which, no doubt, I don't think anybody expected him to have that same sort of season. But this team banks on Melvin Gordon. They don't throw the ball particularly effectively. And defensively, they are the 30th pass defense in the NBL. And when you go against Ben Roethlisberger and a healthy Pittsburgh Steelers team, Le'Veon Bell came back week 17. Ben Roethlisberger is healthy at the moment. Again, it's all assuming the Pittsburgh Steelers stay healthy. They not only are top 5 in yardage in the passing game against a very bad passing defense in the LA Chargers, they're also the number 1 overall defense in the NBL, the number 1 overall in yardage, number 1 overall in passing yardage, number 5 overall in rushing yardage. This Steelers defense, I think, may be the best defense we have seen out of Pittsburgh in a while. I love Churfy Gooch on the line, and not just because I get to say Churfy Gooch, and that brings me joy in life, but that line can stop Melvin Gordon. Their pass defense is going to eat against Carson Wentz. I like the Steelers to come out of the AFC, but if Melvin Gordon can turn it on like he did last year in the playoffs, which you didn't think a guy who had 2,000 yards could turn it on even more, he did up until the Super Bowl. I think the Chargers have a very good chance. I just like that. I can't bet against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've done it too many times. It doesn't work out well for old OSU.
Well, let's just go to one thing, and I'll bring this up, and I'll be nice about it, OSU. Maybe you weren't paying attention, but Week 13, Chargers versus Steelers. Chargers win that matchup 32-14. It was a beatdown. Ben Roethlisberger played. Ben Roethlisberger played.
Le'Veon
Arnold played.
No, Le'Veon
Howard
Bell.
played.
No,
Le'Veon Bell isn't good for 20 points. Are you kidding
me? Le'Veon Bell. Here's the thing. Le'Veon Bell. What he does for the Pittsburgh Steelers is he opens up the pass game. DeAndre Washington is 2.8 yards per carry.
Hey, I'll let you talk. Now, is Le'Veon Bell going to go out there and play defense? Are they going to keep him from hanging 32 on him? That's my question. We talk about how great this Steelers defense is. How'd they hang 32 on him if they were that dependent on Melvin Gordon? I get it. He had a decent game. Didn't go over 100. 2 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, that's cool. But he didn't run all over him. I think this Steelers team has found its kryptonite. It's the Chargers. The Chargers showed they're the better team. You can talk about Le'Veon Bell all day. He's not going to make that big of a difference against a team that's frankly really good at stopping the run in the Chargers. So I feel strong in saying that wouldn't have made that big of a difference. And the LA Chargers have already proven it. They've proven it this year against Big Ben. They can beat them, and they did it in Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh.
Le'Veon Bell. When you turn any team in the NBL one-dimensional, when you go from a guy who's averaging 6.1 yards per carry to a guy who averages 2.8 yards per carry, your team is immediately worse. I'm not saying Le'Veon Bell would have played defense. I'm saying Le'Veon Bell would have converted a whole lot more first downs than DeAndre Washington did. Immediately, the offense has the ball more. Immediately, the number of points the Chargers goes down. I'm not saying Bell is any sort of god here who's going to score 800 points and put them up by 30. I'm saying the minute that you put DeAndre Washington in at running back, the Chargers defense no longer has to worry about the run game. They can drop back into pass coverage and send 3 men and go, DeAndre Washington, I dare you to get more than 3 yards per carry.
Yeah, I just think that was more of a game plan from the Steelers. They went away from it early. There weren't enough rushing attempts there for me to feel like they were even committed to the run from the start. That's an issue with the play calling. 9 sacks. 9 sacks. That line is overrated in Pittsburgh. They're giving up sacks left and right. That's a problem they need to fix real quick if they want to win, but they're not going to beat those Chargers.
Well, it's been a fun episode here. We're about ready to get going on NBL Live, but we got to get to shout-outs here. Vote hashtag OSU wins or hashtag Sonny wins in the chat. Let's get to shout-outs. And it is shout-out time here on the NBL Network, here on Highly Debatable, and my shout-out for this week, I'm doing an old pat on the back shout-out. I'm giving a shout-out to Jalen Richard, and here is why. Jalen Richard continues to put up great yards. I mean, he gets a lot of carries, no clip, but puts up monstrous yards. We just had an article come out by Dark Brawler. MVP on offense for the Raiders was Jalen Richard. But he gets no love for no reason other than he plays in the same conference as one Melvin Gordon. He can't get a best running back award behind Melvin Gordon. He can't get an offensive MVP
shout out your own player?
Between Melvin Gordon. I'm absolutely giving a self shout out to Jalen Richard for no reason other than it is infuriating to play behind Melvin Gordon and sit there every time and go to the best running back and be like, number 2 once again. Shout out to you, JR. Keep doing what you do.
That's a first. That's interesting. Good. Sometimes you got to build your own brand, and then that's how you do it. So good for you. My shout out is actually going to be, you know what? I'll take your route. Shout out to us, because I'll tell you what, guys, the Highly Debatable stock game has been a huge hit this year. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill you in. Whoa. And he blurs out.
Yeah. You saw that?
I'm going to go ahead and fill you in on a little bit of a change we will be making next year. The NBL Stock Exchange next season is actually going to go to a tiered bidding system. So all the teams will get broken down into different tiers with different costs associated with it. And so there'll be more parity in it because we'll have to work on a budget. And hey, who knows? Maybe somebody will try to buy an up-and-coming team. Maybe it'll be the Rams. Who could be this year's Rams? I don't know. We'll have to look at it. But shout out to you guys for making NBL Stock Exchange a huge success and something we're going to keep kind of building on going forward. And you want to take that one from Intrain? That's a pretty good one, too.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to NBL for raising $900 for the Wounded Warrior Project through our Squares game for the NBL tournament. And we're going to continue. Wounded Warrior Project is a charity that is near and dear to our hearts here in the NBL. So we're going to continue working with Wounded Warrior Project. I know we've got a big plan for our NBL EA Access tournament where we're going to be raising money for Wounded Warrior Project. But yeah, big shout out to everybody in the NBL for that. And the Grid as well who participated in that. We're going to get out of here because we got to get to NBL. Live episode number 200. Going to be a great game. Sonny, good luck tonight. I wouldn't expect Unisolated to put on the same performance as last time on NBL Live, but you never know. You never know what'll happen. It's been fun. Join us next time. Highly Debatable episode number 17. Presumably will be next Saturday. We got a Super Bowl coming up. So look for that next week. But thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, vote in the comments, hashtag OSU wins, hashtag Sonny wins. Determine who won this episode. And we'll see you in about 5 minutes for NBL Live episode number 200. You won't see Sonny, you'll see Liv, but you'll see me. We'll see you then.